Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon if it's afternoon. Good evening if it's good evening. This is Dr. Troy Sproul coming from Synapse. I'm sitting here with Mary. We're going to share her testimony today. Got a few things I just want to read first. Only God can turn mess into a message, a test into a testimony, a trial into a triumph, and a victim into a victory. Psalm 66:16. Come and listen, all you who fear God, and I will tell you what he did for me. So we're here today to talk about Mary with the intent and the hope that it does serve some of you who may be going through something similar. We believe here at Synapse, by sharing our testimony, by sharing our story, sharing who we are, that you can learn from that. And if you need to be lifted up, it helps you to be lifted up. If you're feeling hopeless, it may help with some hope. So, Mary, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you coming to Synapse. Got a few questions here for you.
Okay.
So the first one is, what brought you to Synapse?
Okay. Back in 2015, I came to see you, but there was a history of ulcerative colitis. I had been diagnosed in 1998, and through a friend who had seen you, gave me very good recommendation for you, and I called your office and I said, do you guys deal with ulcerative colitis? And they said yes, and I said, I want to come in. So that's when I came in. It was 2015, June of 2015.
Awesome. I noticed that when we were working together, there were different stages of healing. These are things that I kind of noted. We had to start with some mindset stuff and had to work on some stressors. We worked on some dietary changes. You had a lot of physical complaints that went with that. And I remember something very specific. I remember telling you, if we get this right, your neck pain and discomfort, you won't need weekly adjustments to feel normal. And I'm pretty sure you didn't believe me on that one.
Probably not.
No. So I think you said, I'll believe that when I see that. So can you tell me a little bit about your perspective on the stages of healing that you went through, as far as from your experience of it?
Okay. You're right. The mindset thing was what I remember most about starting with you. And that was kind of shocking for me. I was kind of surprised by all of that. And it was different. And but it made a lot of sense to me, and I think through the journey that was one of the biggest things for me, because I am kind of a type A, and I am kind of a perfectionist, and so I wanted to see results right away, and I don't know, I'm kind of that way. But I think through the mindset stuff, what I discovered through what you would do is that I was very negative and very angry about my condition. I really was. I felt like I kind of discovered that I was mad at myself, and I was mad at my body for not behaving the way I wanted it to behave. And I would come and do these appointments, and I would expect results right away the next day, because that's what I wanted. And so yeah, it was kind of an up and down journey for me with all of that, but very good, very good.
Yeah, you pushed me pretty hard in the beginning, which is type A, which is good. I'm the same way, and I'm all about results. From my perspective, we had to take very, very tiny gains in the beginning as proof of this is working. And there was very tiny changes that you couldn't feel, but I could measure. And that helps me have more confidence in that we're going in the right direction. But there was a lot of ups and downs with that.
Yes.
Did you ever feel like giving up?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because I wanted it to be just a food thing. I wanted it to be, Mary, just eat this and you'll be fine, because that's what I had been working on for years before I saw you, was just food. And so when you kind of challenged me with some of this other stuff, I didn't quite get it. But and yeah, I remember coming into you, and you remember this too, and I said, you better give me a pep talk, because I am really at the end of all of this. And you were so good. You were very patient, and you did. You gave me a pep talk, and I walked out feeling like, okay, I can do this some more.
And just for everyone kind of watching this, I want you to really hear how common that is, especially when we're dealing with something that you've had for so long. To undo that takes some time and patience from both parties, because you had a lot of patience with me too, and really a lot of trust in saying, okay, I trust you, let's keep going. Okay, I trust you, let's keep going. And so that's a journey that a lot of people, they have to get through that. And one of the analogies I use a lot is it's like climbing a mountain where there's peaks and valleys, and our goal is to get to the top of that mountain. But sometimes when we're in the darkness of one of those valleys, it feels alone, it's frustrating, and it's not much fun. So it's important for us to continually help each other, number one. And I know your faith plays into that a lot too, as it does for me. And so that's a big part of it. For you, what was the hardest part of your health journey so far?
I think it's been not seeing instant results, because that is my personality. Yeah. I want somebody to tell me, you just need to do these steps, it's over, you go on. And that's not what the health journey's about. And I really discovered that. And I remember you saying to me, and maybe, I don't know, get to this, but you said to me one time, Mary, you have to stop looking at things as good or bad. They're neutral. And that was me. If I woke up in the middle of the night, and I woke up, I got so mad at myself because I wasn't sleeping, and then I couldn't sleep anymore because I was so mad at myself. And you'd say to me, it's a neutral event. It's not good or bad that you woke up. And so I began to just say that to myself. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't matter that I woke up. It's a neutral event. Lord, just put me back to sleep. And then I would go back to sleep. But I was not used to that. I was used to just getting mad, and then I'd get frustrated, and then I wouldn't sleep anymore. And so it was a real up and down journey.
Yeah, I love that. And the teaching on that is we all have experiences in life, and they are neutral events. It's our perception that colors those events. And we are meant to guard our thoughts for a reason. And we can measure physically and chemically changes in our body when we don't guard our thoughts. So capture your thoughts, guard your thoughts. Every event's neutral, and when you change that, I remember that, because when you took that to heart, all of a sudden we started seeing a change, not only in how your muscles were performing, how your digestive function was performing, and you started giving yourself the grace that you gave many other people, as far as being imperfect, and we started seeing healing.
Yeah.
And diet was a part of it still. Your thoughts were a part of it. There were some physical components to it. Do you need weekly adjustments on the neck right now?
No.
That was the other thing that changed, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was really bad at first. And I remember, coming in, and you'd say to me, wow, your neck is hardly adjusted here. And when you first came in, it was a lot of noise.
Yeah, it woke up the neighbors. It was every adjustment. All right, just a couple more questions here. Okay. I know for you, you have a heart to help and serve others. And when you see people suffering or kind of been going through what you're going through or something similar, you want to reach out and share what you've learned, but there's some frustrations in that, yes?
Yes.
Certain people aren't necessarily open, or they're not ready for that. For the people who are open, for the people who are watching this, what piece of advice would you give to those people that may be able to learn from your story?
Yeah, it's just keeping an open mind. It's keeping a mindset that there may be something more that you don't know. Because I think I came into it thinking, I know what I need. You got to tell me this part that I've already decided, and then I'll get better. But to keep my mind open to what else there was, just the fact that you had to deal with my mindset is just kind of blew me away. So I just think you've got to keep an open mindset to everything, and you can't think that you have it all figured out. You've got to lean on some other people.
Yeah, and the mindset, because you're very capable mentally. You're very much, this is something you've worked on in your life. It was just a little bit different. It wasn't that it was backwards or wrong or anything like that. It was just there was a cleanup in an area that was just hidden from you, is all it was.
Right.
So a lot of times, a lot of our strengths can become our own weaknesses when they're overdone. And that's a lot of what we have to discern through. And there's always something mentally, chemically, or physically that we find. And usually there's a nice little triad of all of them.
Yes.
And so that was a big part of it. So last question.
Okay.
Tough one. Are you done?
No, I am not done. I will never be done, because my health is very important to me, and being strong and healthy through my life is important to me. And I just think you're always changing. Your body's always changing. Just from aging, you change. Yeah. And so, no, I won't be done. But it's not near as frustrating as it used to be at all.
That was my real last question. Are you okay with it not being done?
Yes. No,
and that's
I
the
am.
key.
And that is because I wouldn't have been 3 years ago or whatever.
Right.
I am now. It's like I can trust this process, and I trust you, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.